Hello and welcome back to the show. So I am joined here today by a very special guest, Dr. Marcus E. Turner, real estate agent and a great friend of mine based in Washington, D.C. So Marcus is a real estate agent and a real estate investor with over 30 years of experience in real estate and a top producer as a real estate agent. Now, he just recently partnered with us here at EXP, and he is an expansion leader and coach for real estate agents looking to upgrade their business through the Agent Affluence Academy. So, Marcus, welcome to the show, man. I'm super excited to have you here, and I'm super excited to have you kind of share your experience here with other agents and to the world.
I'm so excited to be here on today. It's just a great pleasure to have the invitation to come.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So before we get started here, I would love for you to be able to share a little bit more about who you are and a little bit more about your experience in real estate. So you've clearly done a lot with 30 years of experience. What are some of the highlights and maybe some of the challenges that you've experienced in in your career as a real estate investor, but also as a real estate agent?
Yeah, it's funny because I've been in real estate all my life. I'm a third generation real estate professional. My father was in real estate. My grandfather was in real estate. If you cut me right now, I'll bleed real estate because it's exactly what I love. Um, General contractor, builder, developer, investor, instructor, and now salesperson. Real estate is just what I do. I feel as if that by bringing real estate to the forefront of agents' minds as well as my clients, it helps them make those lifelong decisions that they have to make. My goal in life, where I am now at this stage in my life, is to get to a point where I can help coach and mentor agents. I've had, like you said, some good days. I've had some bad days, but more good days than bad. My bad days has just been sometimes you go through certain seasons in the market. I've seen times where the market was out of sight, but then at the same time, I've seen times where the market didn't move at all. Of course, back in '08, when the bubble burst, man, everything went haywire. Tenants were not paying rent. You couldn't find any fix or flip. So yeah, there's ways to navigate that. And that I've made some mistakes, and I can share some mistakes to help agents and investors understand that they don't have to make those mistakes. Because I do believe that yes, '08 is over, but I also believe that it'll come back around again. I enjoy real estate because of the fact it's something that it allows me to be in touch with other people. I'm a talker. I'm gonna try not to talk too much today, but I'm a talker. I love talking. I love sharing. I love talking about my past experiences, but also I like listening and learning about the experiences of others. Because if there's something that I've encountered that can help you go further in your life and to reach financial freedom, I surely want to share that with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's very interesting that you mentioned '08, right? Because that's something that I don't think a ton of agents have gone through, but they're going through a similar situation now, right? With a lot of the changes in the industry and it being a tougher market. So if you're an agent listening to this and you got your license in, let's just say like 2020, right? You've only known good markets up until probably about a year ago, right? So
Exactly.
for somebody like yourself who've gone through a situation like 2008 where it seems like probably the real estate world is falling apart, what are some of the best tips or advice that you can give to agents today who haven't experienced a bad market that has really helped you navigate that? Even though you were more so of an investor back then, you were still very involved in the real estate business. How were you able to navigate a market that seemed like it was pretty much the end of the world?
One of the greatest tidbits of advice that I could give to any agent is to surround yourself with a network of the right people. It is so important that you have the right people around you, because with the right people, they can support you and they can encourage you with your lead generation, with your marketing skills. When you're going through a famine, when you're going through a drought and you're sad, you're contemplating about quitting, that support system would be there to show you that quitting is not the answer. they would be there to encourage you to know that you can see your way through that particular situation or circumstance. I joke all the time because even the Bible says bad company causes ruin. And it's so important that you get with the right company. You got to have the right people around you. And when you have the right people around you, then you can survive whatever it is you're going through. I'm thankful because even though I wasn't in sales at that time, but I was doing my own development, I was doing my own townhomes and apartment buildings, multifamilies, and I ran into that moment where income wasn't what it needed to be because of the fact I said it earlier, tenants were not paying the rent as they should because everyone was suffering in '08 going into '09. And the same thing is going on there in this year with all of the inflation and all that's going on. So it's so important that you have someone around you. I had people I could call on. I had people that could just give me a word of advice. Okay, you may have to do this. You may have to do that. You may have to decide to pull back and sell or liquidate that so that you can hold on to this because this is going to resurge after a while. It's just so important that you're open to being coached. It's so important that you always have someone, and more than one is that's wonderful that you have someone you can call on to get sound advice. And there's nothing like having people around you that know the ins and outs of this real estate industry.
Absolutely. I think, as real estate agents and even investors, I would say more so on the investor side, it's a very individual business, right? It can seem like
Yeah,
that because
exactly.
as an investor in the beginning, right, a lot of times you are maybe getting training from the internet, you're getting started, maybe you have a mentor, but it's harder for you to find that group of people, that
Yeah,
network, like you mentioned, where you can actually get together and call on somebody who
yeah,
know something that you might not know, right? And the
right.
same thing goes for a real estate agent as well, right? A lot of agents, it's kind of in the industry, you are self-employed, but you don't have to be a self agent, if that makes sense. You can
Yeah.
be part of a network and part of a group. And I think finding that is very important. So if you have any tips on agents and how they can go out there and actually find a network like that, or how you were able to at that time as an investor connect yourself with a lot of great company, what would you say are some of the things that people need to be doing, especially right now, where it can seem like they're trying to isolate all the time because of all the not so great things going on.
Right, right. I laugh all the time because I there's a lot of agents that's kind of like for sale by owners. And what
Hmm.
I mean by that is they underestimate the power of having a knowledgeable network. You know what most agents do is they choose to take this journey alone and then they go and experiment with all types of techniques and whatever they may see on the internet and they experiment with it with trial and error instead of just getting with a sound group of people that have experience that can coach them and mentor them and show them the right way to go. I had a group of guys years ago that they wanted to introduce me to golf. And it's so funny because they wanted to take me to the range first, and they kept taking me there, and they told me I had to get a pro to show me how to do it. And I told them I felt like I know what to do. They said, no, you need a trainer, you need a coach. You do not want to even start without being properly trained. Because if you start without being properly trained, you're going to start doing that which is wrong. And you're not going to even realize that you're doing something that's wrong. That's how it is with being a solo agent. It's great being a solo agent. No one's over your head. You run your own business. However, you still need someone that can show you the proper way to go. Because I can tell you, if you don't, it's going to cost you so much in the future. Now, as an investor, the way that I was able to survive during those times, I just allowed myself to show up everywhere. So I would peek in on certain meetings. I would peek in at where I heard that there was some investors having a caucus or having a meeting or get together. I made sure that I was there and I made sure that I just built relationship. I'm big on relationships. I believe that that's the way you're going to survive. And I built relationships. And when you begin to build relationships, people begin to see your heart. They begin to see your ambition and your sincerity, and they don't mind sharing what they have with you because they see that you are like kind. They see that you are sincere about what you're trying to do. And with that in mind, that saved me because, like I said, there was times where I had a large apartment building, and it was causing me the most problems, and that was what I thought I needed to liquidate. However, through the intelligence and the wisdom of those that I looked up to, they shared with me that I didn't need to liquidate that because of the fact in the long run, that's going to turn around. Don't get rid of your cash cow just because it's not producing at this season. Liquidate these things over here, get that back in order, and then before you know it, you'll be back up and running. That's exactly what has happened, man. That cash cow is up and running. And even there in 2024, it is doing exactly what it needs to do. So I'm so glad that I did not go with what I thought. Sometimes we can just kind of trust in our own thoughts and our own intelligence. And if you're not as experienced as someone else, you fall. You're not going to make it. So it's so important to surround yourself with the right people. That will always be my greatest advice to agents, teams, brokers, whoever. Surround yourself with a network of the right people. A good friend of mine, his name is Dr. Mike Freeman. He says, hang out with people with your solutions, not with people with your problems. And that's what I've learned to do. I want to be around people that have all of my solutions, but I don't want to be around anyone that has the same problems I have because there's nothing we could do but get in trouble.
Absolutely. That's such a great story that I think you shared right there. Because even as somebody who is experienced, right, with over 30 years of experience in real estate as an investor, there were still some things that you could learn from other people who
Exactly.
might have, have had a different experience, who might have treated the situation a little bit differently that can actually help you, increase your cash flow, increase your revenue without having to go through the solution the way that you want to have gone through that solution with, right? Because we only have the amount of knowledge that we have individually. But if we're not going out there and surrounding ourselves with, like you said, very greatly, people who have our solutions, then we're never going to come up with new solutions and we're never going to start thinking in different ways that can really help us compound our successes in business and really explode our business that can really then help our lifestyles as well. So something I really wanted to get your take on specifically was you were a real estate investor and a developer for a long period of time, right? So you've been in the business on the investing side for a while, and then you end up deciding to get your real estate license. Walk us through a little bit about what that process was like. What are some of the benefits of getting your license as a real estate investor? And how has that transition been from investor to becoming a real estate agent, which was an industry, and it wasn't the industry itself wasn't new to you, but being an agent was a little bit newer to you.
Exactly. And let me just say something on what we was just talking about because I want to share one of the greatest hurdles I had to get over. And that is when you believe that you've been around longer than others. There's a sense of pride that will come and you feel like, well, I don't need to listen to that person because I have 30 years in this thing. At the time, I have 20 years in this, and they only have 4. My philosophy is if someone is doing something that you want to do and they're doing it successfully, it's worth talking to them. It's worth listening to them. You do not want to pass up an opportunity because you think you have some type of seniority over them or some type of longevity in the game over them. No, if they're doing it and it's working for them the way you wish and desire it to work for you, sit down and have a conversation with that person right away. Now, to get to what you were saying about this transition, one of the main reasons, and I'll tell you about the transition, but one of the main reasons I made the transition was when I was doing my own thing. And there was times that I was a for sale by owner. I mean, it was easy because what I was selling, it was something that was pretty, it was shiny, it was new. So people would jump on it just like that. Well, I began to have a lot of people asking me a couple of things. One, they began to ask me, can you help me with mine? And in theory, you can sell your own real estate, but you shouldn't sell someone else's without a license. So they began to instruct and ask, hey, can you help me do this? Can you give me insight on that? Or then they began to make comments like, man, you'll make a great agent because of the fact this stuff comes easy to you. It's part of who you are, it's part of your passion. And I had a good friend that told me just that. He said, man, you take all three of those states, you'll knock them out just like that. It wouldn't be no study for you. And exactly that's what happened. I knocked out Maryland, went and knocked out DC, came back around and took care of Virginia because I just love real estate. So the transition of it was just understanding that yes, I would still be using my real estate knowledge and wisdom to work on personal deals, but now I have a greater obligation and a greater opportunity to help so many other people. There are so many people that would love to own a home, but they don't know exactly how to go about it. And there's no one in the industry that's just taking the time to share with them step by step to do just that. There's a lot of agents that are well, would be agents that would like to become agents, but just telling them to go to school, that's not truly encouraging. But if they have someone that would take the time to, I call it, hold their hand and walk with them through the process, it causes them to have a sense of confidence. And so often you can do so much in life if you have confidence. And now, even with agents, I had agents when I was investing coming to me asking me questions that in reality I should have been asking them. So my desire to work with agents became stronger. So when I thought about it and listened to what had been said to me about becoming a real estate agent, I thought about it with the thought of helping first-time home buyers, helping home sellers, helping investors, because I understand how investors think. I understand what we need out of an agent, and I understand what agents can and can't do. I know as an investor, you go to some agents and you say, "Hey, what I need you to do is do this and that," and they'll jump up in almost opposition, but it's just because they don't know. They don't understand that that is possible. They're more so fearful of doing something that's not correct. And that's great because we all have a code of ethics. But at the same time, it's better if you know whether you can or can't so that you can thoroughly assist your client if your client is an investor. So for me, I just really, really enjoyed wanting to help others. So that's why I became a agent. Yes, it's going to be something different than what I was doing before, but I believe it's where I'm trying to steer my life. I want to get to a point now where my life spends more time with less production and more instruction, more advice, just hands on with those that want to improve their lifestyles, improve their businesses, and improve their financial goals.
Right. So on the flip side of that, right, as an agent, you already have experience as an investor. So from your experience as an agent with your investing background, what would you say to agents who are maybe considering investing themselves? And would you say it's a benefit for real estate agents to go out there and start buying their own investment properties or working on their own flips? Or if it's working, or if it's just working with other real estate investors, and how can that experience help them as a real estate agent in their business in helping potentially other investors or sellers or even first-time home buyers?
I think it's both. I think it's both because as investors, one thing that we always are going to see is opportunity. You're not going to be an agent too long without seeing opportunity. You're not going to be an investor too long without seeing opportunity. Now, when you blend the both together, now as an investor, I can see the opportunity of a great house to flip. Now, if I'm out and I'm showing several clients and they can't see the investment and they're not moving on the investment, and even if other agents are around and their clients are not seeing the value in that investment, it doesn't diminish the value in the investment. It just means no one sees it. Well, now if I'm an agent that I see the investment and no one else seems as if they want to jump on the investment, it behooves me to jump on it since I see the investment. So as an investor, it allows me to continue my own personal portfolio as I'm working towards it. Now, my first goal is to put others first. My first goal is to sell to investors, to purchase for investors. My first goal is to assist the first-time home buyer or other home buyers or home sellers. That's my primary goal on the production side. However, if there are properties, if there are deals, is what we call them on so many times, if there's deals out there and no one is moving on it, it's still a deal and someone should move on it, because everyone can't walk into a place and look around and see the value of this, or everyone can't. Now, this is where being an investor would help as being an agent also, and that is, as agents, we are supposed to talk the market. I don't talk yesterday's market. I don't talk tomorrow's market. I talk today's market. That's what I'm supposed to give to my clients, whether I'm doing a BPO or whether I'm doing a CMA. I'm giving an idea of today's market. However, for myself, I can talk to myself about tomorrow's market. And the reason why you don't want to talk about tomorrow's market is because as agents, we can't promise tomorrow. We can't promise whether something is going to go up. We have steered someone terribly wrong if we say that something is going to go up X amount in 6 months and it doesn't. And they made a purchase based upon that. Yeah, you've operated outside of your bounds. But for me, I can tell myself that it's going to go up 6% or X amount in 6 months, 12 months. And if no one else sees that or wants to jump on that, then I can and I will move on opportunities like that. So I do. So what I would say to agents, I would say if you're an investor and you're desiring to be an agent, that's a good desire. If you're an agent and you're thinking about getting in the investment side, that's a wonderful place to be. It will add income and it will set you up in the years to come for passive income. You know, right now, many of us, we have energy, we're young, so active income is great. But there's going to come a time where I need to put my time somewhere else. And as we know, that's the definition of active income. What's requiring your time? I need something where I can have income coming in and my time could be with my family. I can be on vacation. I could be doing something totally different. Warren Buffett say the best money is the money you make while you're asleep. And that's what I desire. So I would tell agents and investors that you should consider investing.
Yeah, and I think it's, you brought up such a good point there that a lot of agents are not understanding, and that is the power of passive income, right? The power of being able to earn money while you're asleep, while you're on vacation, while you're doing something else. A lot of agents bring up the fact that they choose to work all the time. They want to be an agent forever, right? And that's okay. I tell them that's okay, but there's going to be situations that come up where you don't get that choice.
Yeah.
There's going to be emergencies, life emergencies, health emergencies, family emergencies. And when these come up, that choice is no longer yours. And if you have built up your passive income before those emergencies come up and before that choice is taken away from you, then you would actually be set and still be able to take care of yourself, your family, without having the headaches of, being in financial ruin.
Exactly. It's been a number of years ago now, but I've become ill and I was down on my back for almost a month and a half. So 45 days to 60 days, I was out of commission. I'm thankful that I had other things coming in, but as it pertained to investing, as it pertained to going out looking for buying holes and fix and flips, and as a contractor, I do a lot of the renovation myself. So as it became whether or not I could go and do some renovations, all of that stopped on day one. And even though I got up off of my back by day 45 to day 60, still it didn't return on day 60. It still was a little time after that. And see, those are the things. And I know that a lot of folks, we don't like to think about the what ifs, but you have to, not only for yourself, but if you have families, you have to think about it for your families. If you have children and loved ones, you have to think about that. That's so it's so important that you put things in place so that anytime you have a moment where you're on your back for 45 to 60 days, everything doesn't shut down. No, that's devastating. That's terrible when you think about it. So it's so important to set up various streams of income, multiple streams of income, and have passive income coming in, so that you're insulated from times like that.
Yep, exactly. That's, you hit the nail right on the head right there, which is, you need to have that income to protect yourself and your
Yeah.
family as well. And I think that brings us to a good point, which is, you just recently made the decision to partner up with us here at EXP, and I would love for you to be able to share that, that decision and kind of what went into that decision. Somebody with your experience, why would you move your license over to EXP, decide to partner with our business model, and more specifically within our organization here at the company?
It's so funny you said that, and I chose to move to EXP Realty because I just believe that EXP is the most agent focused brokerage in the industry. I've done my research, I've read, I've watched, I've spoken to others, and I just believe that EXP is agent centric. I moved all three of my licenses because of the fact I believe that the opportunities and the values that EXP could bring to me was so exceptional that I had to move it. I felt like the time was right. The time was perfect. Now, what about 2 years ago? What about 3 years ago? I don't know, but I know that at this moment, at this time, I feel that EXP is the brokerage of the future. What drew me, at least four things drew me. First of all, the competitive splits. That, of course, that's always going to draw you. The commission cap at 16,000. I ran at it because it makes sense. I expect to do more than 16,000 cap. So it makes sense that I can stop at 16,000. The stock options, to think that there's ways that I can continue to build stock within the company that I work with. That's a great thing. That's a great motivator. But most crucial, what stood out to me the most is the revenue share model of EXP. Now, I told you I did my research, and I researched other organizations that have a slight variance of the revenue share model, but I believe that EXP is the flagship. I believe that EXP is what they say the greatest form of flattery is imitation. So I can see that they are flattered by EXP because they have imitated EXP. But at the same time, I want to be with the flagship. And I believe that EXP has a lot to bring. I like just I like the virtual world. I like EXP world, man. I like just knowing that I can tap in with any of my brokers, any education, any certification, anything I might need. EXP has readily provided it for me. I didn't have to, quote unquote, wait in line for it. It was readily there for me to just receive. And with that 1 day pass that you afforded me, that worked because of the fact I had a chance before somebody say I bought the cow or I brought the product. I had a chance to test drive this Lamborghini, and I could tell whether or not it could get from 0 to 60, and it did. It did everything that was presented to me about EXP. Um, it accomplished that. Everything I anticipated came to fruition, and I'm excited about that. I had a chance to test it on the front end, and I tested it for a long time. Several weeks, I kept digging in, trying to see exactly whether it fit, and it fit perfectly.
Yeah, so it's interesting that you brought that up, getting to test drive the product a little bit right before going going full in. So if you guys are listening to this, a lot of people don't know you can actually get a guest pass to go into EXP World as an agent and really see how we do things on a cloud-based level. And if you guys want to get one of these guest passes, make sure to reach out to Marcus directly and he'll be able to send you a guest pass as well. As long as you provide him with your email address, he'll be able to do that, and you can go ahead and test out the EXP World system for yourself and see just exactly what it is that every agent at EXP is so excited about. But yeah, man, you brought up the stock awards and also the revenue share model were really two of the very important points that drew you to our company's model. So, as an investor, I think it's so interesting that these two drew your attention because stock, that's appreciation, that's building equity, and revenue share, that's building a stream of residual income, right? Which as an investor, you're getting both of these. So explain this maybe for an agent who isn't as tuned into the investment side of the importance of having equity appreciation and also, we talked a little bit about this earlier, but having a residual income stream that may or may not be investing together and being able to build that at one company with just your real estate license.
Yeah, but as an investor, and I've been an investor in real estate, but as an investor, I'm always looking for the return on investment, the ROI. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking at what I can make off of what I put in. And as I looked at the revenue share model, it's not a lot. When you think about how I'm going to be talking to agents on a regular basis, and agents that are listening, you talk to agents, no doubt, on a regular basis, and EXP has made it possible that at no cost to the person you're talking with, at no cost to you, but if you are talking with them and they are part of the idea of wanting to be a part of EXP, then EXP will begin to give you revenue. EXP will begin to share its revenue with you. To me, as an investor, because I'm not one that's in a tunnel. I'm not just on needing to fix and flip. I'm not just an investor that need to buy and hold. I'm an investor that I'm willing to invest in anything that will give me a return on my investment. And now, with my real estate license and just taking the time to do what I love to do anyway, and that is help agents, help teams, help brokers to understand how to achieve their financial success, how to achieve their dreams and their objectives in life. It allows me to have a return on that investment. And like I'm trying to tell you, I'm hoping that I have another 30 years of production. That's great, but for some reason I don't. I need to have other investments that will continue to supply income and profit to my home to take care of my wife. I'm a father of 4 adult children, but they look for daddy to take care of them. And guess what? I want to. I desire to. So I have to think of ways of investing that will give me passive income rather than just active income. The stock auctions are the same way. As you sell and as you do produce, if you're a top producer and you're listening to me, that's great, because now as you produce, you're going to have an option to buy stock into EXP, and you're going to be able to buy it at a discount off of the commission you make at closing. Your first transaction with EXP, they're going to give you an opportunity to have, I think it's about $200, but stock that's going to go towards stock within this industry or this company. So I'm excited about that opportunity. Kobe, another thing about EXP that stood out that I didn't mention earlier, that I really like, people don't talk about this one as much as the stock options and the revenue share. I like the bundle select. The bundle select is awesome because of the fact I know a lot of entrepreneurs that I can help provide a employee benefit for them. It won't cost them anything, and it will not cost the employees anything. And if you don't have employees and you have members or clients, same thing applies. And I can extend to them the opportunity that their employees, clients, or members can save upward towards $20,000, excuse me, 20% in fees at closing. It is so major when you think about that because of the fact whenever you're selling, whenever you're buying in this market and you have an opportunity to save up to 20% in fees, that's a great discount. That's a great um, that's a great benefit that comes when you have that opportunity. Now, why did I bring that up? That's a little different from the stock option and the revenue share, but it's a hands off approach. I'm trying to get you to understand as agents, teams, and brokers that EXP allows you to set up hands off um, platforms so that you can have revenue coming in. Bundle select. Once I set it up with the employer, they began to go and they began to market the product of save 20% on closing. And then people just call in. They go to the website. And when they go to the website, it comes straight to me. And when it comes straight to me, I have an opportunity to save them that 20%. At the same time, with revenue share, I have an opportunity to just provide income to my family on a regular basis.
Yeah, so that's a really good point you brought up, the bundle select. So EXP has a ton of services that agents
Yeah,
can go out there and offer to, like you said, employers, right? That gives people benefits to actually work with EXP agents when it comes to relocation, right? Corporate relocation, REO, and even working with institutional investors who want to dispose of their properties as well. So
right.
that is a way for agents to actually receive leads, like you said, in a hands-off manner and be able to offer these services to people that are in their network as well. So Marcus, man, I think just to wrap up today, I would love for you to be able to share a little bit about, how you foresee yourself helping other agents who want to partner up directly with you, and what are some of the best ways for people to reach out directly to you so that way they can learn more about how you can benefit them and how you can benefit them as far as working with them together here at EXP within your organization.
Wonderful. My greatest attribute that I want to bring is just coaching, mentoring. I want to let you know I'm willing to give a hands-on approach to assisting you. If you're not with EXP at the moment, I want to help you walk through each stage. So often when you make a transition from one broker to another, it seems so overwhelming. It seems as if it's such a big step. It doesn't have to be if you have someone around you. You have a network with the right people around you to help guide you and give you understanding of how to navigate those particular waters. Also, I've taken the time out. One of the things I've done since I've been with EXP is I've taken the time to learn and get certified and study all of their value opportunities for their agents. The reason why I've done that, not only for myself, but I've done that so that when you have questions about, I get them all the time. All right, what's this about? You spoke about it, Kobe, the affinity program. I'm ready to answer that question. Okay, well, how can I start working and building up my KV Core platform? I'm ready to help in that area. Well, how can I look at this? Because I'm so excited. I've been hearing about express offers. What exactly is this express offers platform? My goal is to make sure that I can bring to you the education that you need so that your transition to EXP is a smooth one. Also, if you have questions about investing, I had a young potential agent that's coming, a college student and a junior in college, and he got wind of me through a family member, and he was asking about investing, and I shared that with him. I shared with him about the ups and downs of wholesaling and what he needed to know. So there's so much I can share So if you come to me, it's almost like you're coming to a forum that if you can ask your questions, and I always tell people for some reason, if I don't have it, I have a great upline that does have the answer. So I can definitely get you the answer to anything that you need. If you're trying to catch up with me, you can go to agentaffluenceacademy.com. That's agentaffluenceacademy.com. Let me say something, Kobe. You didn't ask me this, but allow me to share why I've selected the Wolfpack organization. And there's three words that I want to give: reviews, resources, relationships. That's why I'm with Wolfpack organization. The reviews, the resources, and the relationships. In brief, I did my research. I looked at several organizations that could sponsor me, and I looked at them, I analyzed them, I reached out to people that were a part and are part of their organizations, and the reviews came back that the Wolfpack organization is what it says it is, does what it says it does, and that was enough to carry me. Now I didn't make a unintelligent jump. I didn't take a leap of faith. No, I went and I researched, and the reviews came in that Wolfpack organization was true to what they say. I can testify. I can tell you. I can witness that everything that has been said from you, Kobe, or anyone else, you've stood by it. There's been no lack. There's been nothing except sincere value. And I thank you for that. That takes me to the next aura, and that's resources. You guys flood with resources. And see, that's what I'm going to do with the agents that I'm working with. See, if you're listening to me, I have just open up a window and just can pull you out a flood of resources from practitioners that understand this industry. That's exactly what I did with the young man I told you that's in college, and he was asking about wholesaling. Well, that's exactly what I did. I put him in touch with Chris, because of the fact Chris has a great video that works great for wholesalers. And see, that's what we need. You need to have a network where if you have a question, we can get you an answer ASAP. And the resources that I've received from you, even being in this thing for 30 years, it still were resources that were mind boggling. They were enough to excite me and make me want to learn more. I'm always a learner. The last aura, not only the reviews and the resources, but the relationships. You won't believe this, but there's a lot of organizations and a lot of individuals I spoke to that was talking about sponsoring me. And when I asked them about their upline, it was almost as if it was a secret. Where I've already spoke to literally the majority of everyone in my upline. I've talked to you on a regular, Kobe, and I thank you for that. I've spoken to Charlie. I've spoken to Chris, and even I'm always with Connor on Mondays at our mastermind calls. So it's just been great because of the fact it's just not one person trying to get me to put their name down, but it is an organization that is sincere about building relationships. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited about relationships. And I know there's so many of you that's listening to this and you're wondering about that move. I see that. And I know that you're wondering because I watch you. You say on LinkedIn and for social media platforms that you're ready for a change. Well, if you're ready for a change, this is a great place to consider because of the reviews, because of the resources, and because of the relationships. Thank you so much, Kobe.
Thank you, Marcus. That was a great review, right? With the first star of the Wolfpack organization, what exactly it is that we do for the agents here. And so many agents, they don't talk about that point, like you said, is that when you join EXP with the right sponsor,
Yeah.
with the right organization, you're not just getting access to one person, you're getting access to 7 business partners that are
Yeah.
willing, able, and ready to help you succeed, whether if it's building a team, whether if it's in your investing business, especially with our special skill sets within our organization, or if it's with your production first and foremost as well if you are wanting to increase your production as a real estate agent. So if you guys want to work with our organization, if you guys want to partner up with our group, make sure to reach out to Marcus directly at agentaffluenceacademy.com. And that way you can learn more about what it's like to work with both of us and the rest of our Wolfpack organization. So go to agentaffluenceacademy.com. I'll make sure to leave the link to that in the description down below so that way you guys can find it easily. Marcus, man, appreciate you being on the show today. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and your journey with us. Before we let you sign off, is there any last pieces of advice or any last tips you would like to leave with the audience here today?
Lastly, just great having this opportunity. I'm just a big fan of getting with the right people. I encourage you to get with the right people. And I believe that the Wolfpack organization is the right organization. And I believe EXP is the right broker.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Make sure to reach out to Marcus, and we'll see you on the next episode. Take care.